three. Colbert converts again.
Outside to Clavell. Oh, on 20-footer. Good! Bounce past the Duffy left hand.
You're watching CTV Sports!
Good evening, Rams, and welcome to another week of CTV Sports. I'm Olivia Landis.
And I'm Karlee Schwartzkopf, bringing you the latest updates on CSU Sports.
The Colorado State football team faced a heartbreaking loss this past Saturday after falling 49-46 to the Air Force Falcons in Colorado Springs. The Rams accumulated a season-high 559 yards of offense. However, the defensive side seemed to struggle when it came time to stopping the Falcons' signature triple option offense. This resulted in sacrificing over 500 yards of offense to the Falcons. CSU's undoing, though, ultimately came down to 2 missed field goals and an untimely fumble by junior wide receiver Michael Gallup, a catch that had the potential to be a game-winning drive. Despite the turnover, Gallup showed up to perform one of the best receiving performances in Colorado State history, recording 13 catches for 213 yards and a touchdown. With junior quarterback Nick Stevens passing for a career-high 374 yards and junior running back Dalen Dawkins rushing for 102 yards, it marks the first time in CSU history that the offense had a 300-yard passer, 200-yard receiver, and 100-yard rusher. Defensive senior linebacker Kevin Davis had a tremendous night with a team-high 15 tackles and 2 forced fumbles. The Rams seek to clinch bowl eligibility at this Saturday's final home football game at Sonny Lubick Field at Hughes Stadium against New Mexico. The game will be nationally televised with a kickoff time of 8:15 p.m. Karlee, this was an extremely exciting game to watch, very back and forth, high scoring. However, as usual, it's the little things that really credited to CSU's loss in this game.
Yeah, CSU played great as a team this weekend. You had junior Nick Stevens having a great game, walking into the game only having 1 interception, came away with a career-high game. And, the true story here is Michael Gallup, amazing player for CSU. CSU is a run game team, and they had to throw it, and they did well. Yeah,
and despite the fact that it was probably, it was a detrimental fumble and it could have been a game changer, Michael Gallup did a tremendous job. And, people have been talking about it a lot all season, how he's really coming out of the shadows from Rashard Higgins. He's one of the top players. People come to watch him and watch his game, and he's really showing up and being a huge contribution to this CSU's offense.
Yeah, I think CSU learned a lot from this game. It was a big game for bowl eligibility, but Air Force is a really good team. Defense ranked 20th nationally. They really forced CSU to throw the ball, as I mentioned before, and CSU's offensive line struggled a little bit this game. They really need to step that next game up this next weekend at Hughes.
Yeah, despite the 6-yard touchdown from Dalen Dawkins, for the most part, Air Force did stop the running game. But however, let's take a look a little bit into this is the final game that's going to be played at Hughes Stadium. And emotions are going to be running high. It's an important game for CSU. They need to win this game for bowl eligibility, but it's also a very sad time.
Yeah, it's the last game at Hughes. This stadium opened in 1968. That is a long time ago. Sonny Lubick having the winningest coach in Colorado history coach there. I think CSU is going to play really well this weekend. It's going to be a memorable game for not only the players, but the fans as well.
Emotions will definitely be running high, but we'll just have to see what happens.
Definitely. And the Colorado State men's basketball team had its home opener Sunday against New Mexico State, walking away with the 64-61 win. The win improves the Rams to 5-0 on the season openers under CSU head coach Larry Stacey. The game started off with the Rams falling behind and trailing most of the entire first half. Despite shooting 33% from the floor, the Rams came back in the second half holding a 10-point lead with 3 minutes and 29 seconds remaining. The game down to the last second with a 3-point attempt by New Mexico State hitting the back iron as the clock ran out. 5 Rams made their Division I debuts, including sophomore forward Braden Kolicker, who led the Rams with 21 points and 9 rebounds. Junior forward Shea Bob scored 11 points and 8 boards, freshman guard Anthony Bonner making the only 3-pointer for the Rams all night. Junior guard Devakio Butler recorded 4 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. And finally, freshman center Nico Cavarchio contributed 1 basket and 2 boards. Despite a 33%, 19 of 57 from the floor, the Rams were strong from the line, making 25 of 31 free throws, and picked up 20 offensive boards. Up next, the Rams play Fort Lewis on Wednesday night at Moby Arena. You know, Olivia, this was a different CSU basketball team than we saw last season. They played really well as a team. You know, that JUCO transfer, Braden Koliker, really stepped up for the Rams. I think he's going to be a true leader for Colorado State.
Yeah, with 21 points on the game, Koliker was absolutely, you know, the face of the CSU's men's basketball team during the New Mexico State game. However, you know, Coach Larry Eustachy did say that Che Bob was the player that impressed him the most. You know, he improved the most from the Regis University game to the New Mexico State game and really showed leadership on the court.
Yeah, and you know, Larry Eustachy played all 9 of his players. That just shows how deep this Colorado State team is, and all season they can play anyone that they want pretty much, especially with Gian being gone. A lot of other players really had to step up. I believe they did that last game.
Yeah, he did discuss how this is the most confidence he's ever had in every individual player that he's ever been able to sign. So the fact that he did all of the 9 eligible players were able to see time on the court really speaks loudly to, yes, this is a young team, but Larry Eustachy is prepared and ready to get all of these guys time on the court, and they're, you know, willing to work as a team.
I think the CSU basketball team is going to surprise people.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for the 3rd time in just 4 years, the CSU men's cross-country team qualified for the NCAA Cross-Country Championships. This will be the first NCAA Championships qualification since 2014 and 3rd overall under 5th-year head cross-country coach Art Seamers. The men's team locked in its ticket to the big show after an impressive 4th-place finish at the competitive NCAA Mountain Regional. This marks the 4th NCAA appearance for senior Jefferson Abbey and 3rd for junior Gerald Mock. Individually for the women's team, senior Janelle Links and junior Darby Gilfillan both earned berths to the championships after respective 13th and 14th place finishes at the NCAA Mountain Regional. Links and Gilfillan are the first CSU women's duo to qualify for the championships since Kristen Hemphill and Ellie Ristall in 2009. The men's cross-country team, along with Links and Gilfillan, will compete at the NCAA Cross-Country Championships on Saturday, November 19th in Terre Haute, Indiana.
It's now time for a short break, but when we return, we'll talk volleyball.
KCSU, your student-run radio station at Colorado State University. Live 24 hours a day, every day at 90.5 FM and kcsufm.com. Live local new music now, and news, talk, and sports. KCSU, the radio voice of Colorado State, on the air since 1964.
You're watching CTV, produced by Colorado State University students, bringing you news, weather, sports, and entertainment from campus and beyond. CTV live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on campus and Fort Collins on Channel 11. Repeats at midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m.
The Rocky Mountain Collegian is your student-run news and information platform. Pick up your paper on campus or around Fort Collins Monday through Thursday with special editions Fridays. And check out collegian.com anytime for all the latest updates. News, sports, entertainment, opinion, and more. The Rocky Mountain Collegian, serving Colorado State since 1891.
College Avenue has been your student magazine for the last 10 years. College Avenue prints once a month covering topics that are relevant to the CSU and Fort Collins community. We also print special editions like the graduation guides at the end of each semester, the best of CSU each fall, and the orientation guide each summer. Look for us on racks around campus, off campus, or online at collegian.com under the College Avenue tab.
The Colorado State women's volleyball team was all around successful with the sweep against the Nevada Wolfpack in Reno, Nevada on Saturday afternoon. The Rams, now 19-7 on the season and 13-2 in the Mountain West, played aggressive and strong this past weekend. Both Sonia Cheesemick and Jasmine Hanna had double-digit kills. Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week Alexandra Paletto added 9 kills on a .818 hitting, and Defensive Player of the Week Kirsty Hillier provided 11 blocks. The Rams never trailed in the first set, with Jasmine Hanna giving CSU a pair of kills immediately in the set. The Rams hit .400 as a team in the period and outblocked the Wolfpack 6-0, with Hillier providing 5 block assists and 1 solo herself. Rams win the first set 25-11. In the second set, Hanna set the tone for the Rams in set 2, with the Rams trailing 12-9, and Hanna adding on 5 kills, helping take the lead 16-15. Nevada did gain the lead after a timeout 17-16, but again Hanna provided 3 kills to put the Rams up 21-19. Rams win the second set 25-21. In the third set, Cheesemick decided to take control, totaling 6 kills, and helped the Rams to a 7-2 run, where she scored 3 of the Rams' final 5 points to seal the 25-18 set victory. Next, the Rams will head back to Boise to face the Broncos in a battle to see who is the best in the Mountain West. The starters are critical to the CSU volleyball team, but a lot of people don't understand the importance of the bench.
The CSU volleyball team has its fair share of stars, but there are other contributing players who stand just out of the spotlight. These athletes are a part of the scout team.
It's hard, like coming from the school I was at and playing all the time, being the best player, to coming here and not playing, but that's just the college athlete experience. I think it really humbles you as a person because you know what it's like to sit the bench and watch and not be able to help when you want to help the team.
It's difficult, but they do a good job with it, and they know that they have a duality in what they have to do.
The scout team's crucial role includes studying, imitating, and perfecting exactly how the upcoming opponent will play.
A lot of it is reading and just kind of being stopped on defense and then just like making plays.
I realized early on it's a very important role to be able to play the role of a different team and step into those shoes and hit like them and try to do the defense that they're doing.
These players are held to the same standards as the rest of the team. This includes staying on top of their studies, attending every practice and lift, and still pushing themselves as if they were a starting player.
It's their job to frustrate us and to frustrate me as a coach and our top team. And they do a good job with it. They understand how important it is for them to push our top squad, and they take a great deal of pride in doing it.
Yeah, I don't know, I just think it's really rewarding knowing that like we're helping them prepare for other teams, and like when we win, like we're a part of that, you know, even if we're not on the court, like we're still a part of that.
Volleyball is my happy place, so just being able to play and be on the team, like even if I am on the bench, it is amazing. I love it.
Thank you to CTV Sports reporter Aislinn Carrillo for that. Definitely gives you a deeper appreciation for the scout team.
Yeah, the CSU volleyball team is deeper than people think.
Well, it's time for another short break, but coming up, we have a very special guest to talk about sports photography here at CSU.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft. To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60. Now I get it.
Welcome back. Tonight we were able to sit down with our very special guest, Abby Parr, to talk about sports photography at CSU. Abby is a sports photographer here at Colorado State and also spent this summer as the assistant photographer for the Colorado Rockies. Thanks for joining us, Abby.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's cool to be here versus just watching the show at home.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, so what is it like to be a sports photographer? Like, what do you all have to do, and especially, what is being a sports photographer for CSU like?
Yeah, so this season I've been shooting football, volleyball, golf, and as of last night, basketball for CSU. And I've really seen a lot of differences in my work from being a team photographer versus just someone who shoots games every now and then. But you really get a feel for the team more, which I think can really show in your work, just kind of knowing the players more with both the Rockies and CSU, such as if Izzy Matthews is having a really good game, good season overall too, and CSU is in the red zone, they're ready to score, you're going to want to be in the end zone versus some other photographers who might not know the team as well. They could be maybe just following the team at the line of scrimmage, where I'll just head straight to the end zone so I can be ready for that celebration shot.
And is that something you feel that you've truly learned just as your time, not only at CSU, but with the Rockies, is to really read these, be able to get that connection with the teams and the players. Has that helped you?
Yeah, it's kind of the little things that you really don't think about. With the Rockies, something that I really picked up was just such as Charlie Blackman. I know that because I followed the team so much, I know that he's one of our fastest players. He tries to steal second a lot, and the pitchers throw him out. So when he does, he slides back into first base. And those are really good photos because you know that you can get those peak action shots of him with the dirt in the background and him sliding his face, which is so important too, and just those things that you know from following the team as much as team photographers do.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot more homework, provided than just pushing a button. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest challenge as, you shoot multiple sports? And football is a lot different from basketball, which is a lot different from golf. What is the biggest challenge for you in having to adjust to each sport?
I think the biggest challenge I've faced so far was this Rocky season. There's so many games in this season, and I shot dozens of baseball games this season. And just going from that transition to football, from being so used to only shooting one sport, baseball, almost all of it is just sitting in the photo well, not having to move at all. So when I had to shoot football this season, the opener against CU, and I had to actually run all over the field carrying my giant lenses, it was tough to get used to. But I loved it too because I love the diversity in the different sports. It keeps you going, and I think even just kind of having that experience from shooting other sports with baseball. With baseball, it's you can get a lot more creative with all those games. You don't have to be right in the peak of action. You can go up higher to get the shadows or just some kind of photos that make it unique. Mm-hmm. And I think having that fresh perspective of a different sport can even apply to football, just with thinking differently and just outside the box.
Yeah, so do you have like a favorite memory, or what's the best part about being a photographer for Colorado State?
I love the games that go down to the wire. Last night, that you guys were at that basketball game with me, it went down to the buzzer, and I love the games with those high emotions. See, of course, I want CSU and the Rockies and the teams I'm shooting for to win, but I think being a photographer, you also secretly want them to go down just to the wire, because those photos with emotion, they will make your portfolio, and they're my favorite shots that I get.
That's awesome. All right, well, since we have our guest Abby, who takes amazing sports photos, we decided to play a game called Guess That Player.
Abby chose 3 photos that she has taken of this year and will be shown a zoomed-in version of the picture and given the opportunity to guess who the player is. Then Abby will reveal who it is and when the photo was taken.
All right, let's get this started. Photo number 1. Let's take a look at the zoomed-in part.
Ooh,
all right, Karlee, I'm going to go ahead and let you get this guess first.
I'm going to guess Prentice Nixon.
I am also going to guess Prentice Nixon because, very recognizable player, and it looks like in the background I'm just going to go ahead and say Moby at basketball. So, Abby, can you please reveal to us who this picture is of?
Yeah, you're right. That is Prentice Nixon. That was last night at the game. Again, awesome down to the wire. I was secretly kind of hoping it would be down to the wire just so I could get a great shot like that, and I was so happy that I did.
It turned out awesome. All right, well, looking at the second picture of Abby's photos, let's take a look at the zoomed-in one.
I'll let you take the first guess on this one.
I think it's Izzy Matthews. Yeah. Obviously football, the face mask. Mm-hmm. And yeah, again, it's when you start to work with sports so much, you start to recognize the players. So I'm going to guess Izzy Matthews.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Izzy Matthews. He's quieting the crowd.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a game earlier this season. He just given us the go-ahead touchdown, and he just silencing the crowd and the haters, and it was a really good moment. And I think this photo is a good photo that can document a game, and people can look back at it and know what that is.
I'm sure he's appreciative of you and all the athletes capturing those moments once in a while too.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's take a look at the last and final photo.
Oh, definitely football.
Yes.
And do you want to take a guess first?
I know who it is, but I don't know who it is.
I'm going to guess Tyree Simmons. That's my guess for football.
Yeah, you're correct. That was when I got to travel with the team to Minnesota. After the game, it was an emotional game. It came down to the wire, and there was a ton of emotion, but it seemed like from the team vibe and even just through a look on his face that they were just happy that they played that hard as a team and came together and to fight till the end.
Great photos, Abby.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Thanks for the games.
Unfortunately, that is all the sports updates we have for you today.
Thank you again to our special guest, Abby Parr, and her insight on sports photography. We really appreciate it. Be sure to check out our volleyball, football, and basketball video highlights throughout the rest of this week on our YouTube channel. Just go to CTV Channel 11 and click on the Sports tab.
Have a great night.